Hey everyone, welcome to my first video where I'll be chatting about bullet journaling as I do my summer 2021 bullet journal spreads. Now, I just want to note that I got my wisdom teeth out last week, so I probably sound weird. Also, this filter is literally everything, and so I had to use it. This summer's theme is actually the beach, which honestly I have no clue why I even picked because I'm not the biggest beach person. I did really love making it, and I guess that's what really counts, that I enjoyed the whole process from designing the spreads to doing the coloring. Throughout the video, you'll see 5 different spreads on a total of 6 pages. The first one you're seeing here is the title spread. A little fun fact is I'm actually planning on using those lines, which are beach towels, as you'll kind of notice later on. I'm going to be using them as a spot for writing down my memories or some form of a reading list. I'm kind of unsure what I want to use them, but I love multi-purpose things, so I'm gonna be all over using them. The other spreads you'll be seeing today are a music playlist for the summer, some recipes I want to try or I just love making during the summer projects that I want to do, and things to do, which the whole concept behind that spread I think is literal genius, so I can't wait to get to that part so I can talk about it. These spreads are already pre-inked with a Pigment Micron in 0.2 and a Prismacolor fine liner in 0.05, since if I'd done them on camera, this video would have been absolutely way too long, so please enjoy me coloring everything in. I thought it'd be a good idea to use the rest of this video to chat about bullet journaling and my journey through it, but of course not before I kicked the tripod. At some point I knew it was going to happen, and it did. I got into bullet journaling through finding it on YouTube, actually, sometime January 2018, so I've been into bullet journaling for over 3 years at this point. Now, 3 years ago I was absolutely terrible at art, but I slowly started getting into it as a passion because I had an art teacher that somehow saw potential in me despite my 5-year-old style drawings. And so through researching art on YouTube and wanting to improve because people believed in me, I saw this as a medium for doing art. And I also really love customization and planning and lists, probably way too much, so this whole idea of bullet journaling was really appealing to me. Now, I feel bullet journaling is often seen as an aesthetic and has to be perfect. And at first I did incredibly struggle with not liking my spreads because they weren't perfect, or I didn't have all the fancy supplies everyone I saw and looked up to had, so I felt mine were inferior. Kind of transitioning into how bullet journals helped me, over time I actually started falling in love with all those imperfections in my bujo, and even though I still to this day sometimes make spreads I'm totally not loving or totally not proud of, I can look at them and their imperfections and recognize, you know what, that's okay, because spreads aren't perfect, nothing in reality is perfect. It got to the point that I even stopped using a ruler and forced myself to make those wobbly lines because it really helped me see the imperfections and the flaws and accept them. Accepting these flaws in my bullet journal also helped me be less of a perfectionist in all other areas of my life too, because I started loving the flaws that I saw and stopped looking at flaws as mistakes but as natural and just part of nature. And I've started to truly believe in those flaws and that they're okay and they're valid, and I really love that. Another way bullet journals have helped me out is my productivity, because bullet journals are a literal blank canvas, and it allows you to do, track, organize, list, draw just about anything you could ever want and need. And it really allows you to focus on what you need and help you self-monitor and reflect and be able to make goals to improve. And all of that together has helped me stay more on task and more focused. This productivity boost has actually made me feel more calm, because when I look at 8 things that I have to do in a single day, it's pretty overwhelming. But if I set up my bullet journal to be able to prioritize it and to be able to put it in a way that I know what's necessary and what I can put off if I'm not having a great day, it really helps with that too. I'd like to mention that even if you're not an artist or want to become an artist, you can still bullet journal because it's a blank canvas. And if that helps you, that's amazing, because bullet journals are for you. They're not for social media, Instagram, YouTube. There are no rules really on how to make a bullet journal. And if there is, I don't follow them anyways. So there's no right or wrong in what you do with it. So if just doing a couple simple lines and titles is what helps you get through the day or through tracking what you need, honestly, good for you. And if you're one that needs all of your spreads to be full of art and that helps you, that is also really awesome. To me personally, I like putting art in my bullet journal because, one, it gives me an excuse to practice drawing and doodling, and 2, I find doing that every month or every so often is incredibly therapeutic to me. Art is something that really calms me down when I'm freaking out, so I really love doing that. Also, if there's background noise, we have construction. Thank you, construction. I know a lot of people that think bullet journaling is something that's exhausting, and after a while they get burnt out from it. And I have to admit, in my 3 years, I've had periods where I don't bullet journal for a couple months, or I do the spreads, but they're just totally empty because I'm not feeling like it. And if you think that's something that you're going to face, I highly recommend to have a pad, a to-do list, or some form of other method that you can use if you're not feeling too great, or you're really busy one month and you can't get to spending 4 hours doing bullet journal spreads. Don't judge me. I'd also like to mention that even if you only take like 20 minutes doing your spreads, which I've also done, that's totally okay. I just spend way too long on things. Before I fall down my rambling rabbit hole, bullet journaling is something, like a lot of things, that takes a lot of time and patience, and you're going to get burnt out or not want to do it. But you have to kind of keep going with it and go with the flow and know when to take a break so you can continue doing it, because I still really love bullet journaling and I don't think I will stop it anytime soon, because the customizability is just everything to me. But at the same time, I feel like I get sick of it sometimes, and you just have to recognize that that's okay. Moving on to my next 2 spreads, we have my summer playlist and my sweet treats. I didn't actually fill these out on camera because I still actually don't have them fully filled out. I will definitely post them on Instagram. and when they're done, or if I need anyone to send me ideas. So please look out for that after the video is uploaded. I feel like these spreads are a great way to segue into the other topic which I really wanted to talk about today, which was consumerism and sustainability along with bullet journaling. Bullet journaling was actually my ticket into wanting every cool piece of stationery in existence, which, as I was simultaneously educating myself about sustainability and low waste, as I was really starting to get into it, that wasn't a good thing. I do now own way more stationery than I'm willing to admit because I wanted all of the quote-unquote bullet journaling supplies and then just fell down the consumerism black hole. And in the last year or so, I'd say I really started analyzing everything I own and everything I wanted and seeing what I truly need to do schoolwork in my bullet journal. And in reality, it's very little because I want supplies that I truly love and I'm not frustrated with or have complaints about, which is most of the things that I own. If you're curious, I really like a 0.2 and a 0.05 fine liner. I want to get the 0.05 and a Pigma Micron because those things last forever and they're really dark and very nice. I also like a white gel pen, something that adds color such as highlighters or pencil crayons, a pen or pencil for writing in my weekly spreads, and a brush pen because I do love calligraphy. That's something that stemmed from bullet journaling, and I do love that too. Kind of relating this whole topic to these spreads, I actually found the scrap paper that I'm now taping down in an old scrapbooking box of mine. And this kind of relates because in minimalism and sustainability, we really need to focus on using and consuming the things that we already own. And so if you want to get into bullet journaling, I highly recommend looking and finding things that you either haven't yet consumed or are just lying around your house and see if you can incorporate them into your bullet journal before you start thinking of buying new stuff. Another thing that you can help with your waste is that if you want to get into bullet journaling but don't know if you want to commit to it long term, you just want to try it out for a little while, if you have any ruled notebook, I would definitely recommend dotted or grid or lined with dots if you have them, but really any ruling counts, and use that as a bullet journal because, like I said, bullet journals have no rules, and so really they're not defined by the dotted ruling that most people you see use. And then if you really like it and you do want to commit to a dotted notebook, because I do have to admit that having dots is very nice because the dots help you be able to organize things and draw straighter lines, but at the same time it's not distracting from the overall page. There are brands such as Leuchtturm 1917, which I probably butchered that name. That's the bullet journal I'm actually using right now. There's also Moleskine, Scribbles That Matter, Archer and Olive. There's really just a ton of options. And I personally buy the Leuchtturm 1917 because most of the bullet journals you have to order online, and that means import taxes and fees, which makes bullet journals way too expensive to be worthwhile. And Leuchtturm 1917 can be bought at Indigo, Chapters, and Kohl's if Kohl's still exists. So they're definitely very convenient. since there's a little extra time and there's nothing really else that I want to discuss, these last two spreads are my absolute favorites. The one that I'm drawing right now is my personal projects, and it essentially has the projects in one of those beach flags that they have at the lifeguard tower that tell you if the water is calm or really rough, like how safe it is. And I have that on a lifeguard tower, and the header is kind of the sky and the ocean. I really thought that was really cute. And the right side, which is I'll be doing in a minute, is the sand pail of activities, which I thought was really genius because it's kind of my bucket list for the summer, but instead of it being a bucket, it's a sand pail. It's probably silly, but I thought it was genius. Like the last two spreads, I didn't fill these out on camera because summer isn't here and I still don't know exactly what I want to do yet. But when I definitely fill them out, or if I need ideas, you'll definitely see that on my Instagram. So please go check that out. And that's going to be it for me until we get to those final photos. So enjoy the last minute or so. And we've finally reached the final flip through and photos. I really hope you enjoyed this chat and video. As I mentioned earlier, I enjoyed every minute of making these spreads. Please let me know if you like this video and this nice chat. I definitely really enjoyed making this video. And if you want to, please like and subscribe. And I guess I'll be seeing you another time.